This project in particular relates to eelgrass restoration activities, which eelgrass was a really big thing in Virginia's, both in the Chesapeake Bay and in the coastal bays facing the ocean on the eastern shore. And they were wiped out. They perform a number of critical ecosystem functions. And they also sequester a lot of carbon. There's a lot of partners involved in this restoration. I think they've restored, more than 9,000 acres of eelgrass. But one of the questions was, hey, there's carbon credit markets are popping up as a way to incentivize this type of restoration and also provide some type of economic revenue so that these sorts of restoration activities can continue. And so the question was raised, I think, by the Nature Conservancy as to whether Virginia could participate.
See, I came here in '96, so 25 years ago, there was no seagrass. And now I can get out of the boat and swim as far as I can swim. And it's just kind of awe-inspiring. It's really amazing. This restoration started about 20 years ago. The first test plots went out in South Bay in around 2000, 2001. The actual restoration is done by collecting seeds and then broadcasting them from the boat out into the coastal bays. And that is done by VIMS and by the Nature Conservancy. And so our role is really understanding the so what of the restoration. How is it being so successful, and what are the sort of ecosystem services that we're seeing being returned to the coastal bays because of the restoration. So while we know a fair amount about the carbon dioxide, we have not known much about other greenhouse gases like nitrogen oxides, N2O, and methane. And so Matthew's paper was the first to measure all the processes that affect the carbon going in and the carbon going out all at once, because you need to have all those numbers at the same time in order to look at that net. And so his study was the first to do that.
There was this question mark out there about whether and to what extent offset credits could really finance restoration, which was kind of the hope and maybe goal at the outset. And so this project, the paper that just came out, in addition to looking specifically at the methane and nitrous oxide piece of the accounting puzzle that was missing, we very much wanted to provide the whole picture, putting that final piece together with the other pieces that we already had to come up with an amount of offset credits that a project like at least the South Bay meadow restoration would have received from verified carbon standard. But given that we have the meadow and we had measured many of the parameters, we got this final methane nitrous oxide piece, we could put all the pieces together and sort of present to everybody, this is what a seagrass project would potentially generate with respect to carbon credits. And usually when we publish these papers on the seagrass restoration, there's some interest over time, but there's not this kind of like immediate response from the scientific community, which was pretty cool this time around.